Hello and welcome to the Digital Digest, your breakfast of insights, tips and tricks and general information that will help anyone trying to move things forward in this digital accountancy space. This show is brought to you by both the Digital Disruptors and SB Digital, which are pushing the boundaries in the space. And I am your host, Ryan Piercy, and I'm lucky enough to be joined by Captain Kelli Doorne-Millott, who I'm pretty sure I've said the name wrong for, who has been recognised as a digital disruptor by you, the people, as nominated on LinkedIn. And we're diving into her background, a little bit about what it means to be a digital disruptor and what she does in this space. So first, Kelli, it'd be lovely to hear a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Well, thank you for that. And the most important part is captain, actually. So everything else following that doesn't matter.
Brilliant.
So, yeah, thanks for having me on the show. It gives you the ick, doesn't it? The disruptor bit. I mean, I get it, but it does start with the ick. What's my background? Sales and marketing. I've done sales and marketing my entire life. I kind of fell into sales via a customer service role because I realised, and this is something that most people don't realise, sales is customer service, but with more money.
That's not a good way of putting it.
Yeah. So I was still able to do all the customer service, all the lovely stuff, all the talking to people, just earn a load more money. So that's how I've kind of fell into sales and marketing. And that was before the digital age. So when social media started coming through, I was using that a lot. I was using those channels a lot to gain business, which is where the marketing side really took off for me. And my business 10 years ago was simply to help other people get business from social media. And that's really where I started.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And so is your channel mostly LinkedIn, or do you go across all the social media channels?
I go across all the social media channels because I need to know what's going on. But I don't expect or like business from every channel because I'm not very good at being on every channel because it's quite overwhelming. So my focus is LinkedIn. It's going to be YouTube because the podcast is growing. And probably I'm going to invest more in the website because my strategy is now changing because I've got an actual brand to develop. So yeah, it's changing. And I wouldn't ever say to anyone who's just starting out to go onto every channel. Just try them out first.
Yeah, exactly. It can be quite overwhelming. It's not something I'm that good at. And to be honest, I've talked about this on social media. I've got a addictive personality. So when I'm on certain social media sites, I end up just spending all my time on it, which can be quite, dangerous, just for your life, really.
Look, and there's a waste of time doom scrolling, right? Because if you go into Facebook, loads of accountants are making Facebook work, by the way. If you go into Facebook, if you are one of these people that doom scroll and doesn't go on there and actively build communities and know what you're trying to achieve on there, it's going to suck your time. And the same with other platforms.
Definitely. I'm really interested to hear about what you're doing with the brand. But before we dive into that, I'm going to ask you the awkward question I ask anyone that comes on that's been nominated as a digital disruptor. What do you think it means to be a digital disruptor?
It's the one question that jumps out, doesn't it? Disruptor. It's got such a weird connotation. So to call yourself a disruptor is a bit odd.
Cheers.
No, it's not like that. But when you look at when you look at yourself and you actually know I'm doing things differently to other people, there is a strategic approach that I'm taking. I've done a lot of research on the industry. I didn't just fall into delivering content for accountants. It was strategic. I did a lot of research. I understood who my competitors were. I understood the messaging from my competitors. And then I evaluated myself and I understood why I'm different and why I bring something different to the party. Then I guess the disruptor thing kind of fits because I'm not trying to blend in with other people. I'm not trying to say, like, look at these competitors, I'm just as good as them. I'm like, no, I'm doing something entirely different. And that's disruptive.
Definitely.
And
I
scary.
think I mean, a lot of this is scary. We've had people that have come on and said, it's trying something new, trying something different, but also talking about it openly, the positives, the negatives, and the impact it can have, and helping lead people either in the direction you've gone or against that if it's something you think has turned out in a negative way.
Yeah.
But
I love the word impact, like that. I keep coming back to it. What is the impact? What is the impact? What is the impact? It's the impact that I'm going to leave on my clients. But it goes further, and I've spoken about this quite often. I want to impact accountants to grow amazing businesses. One, because I put them on a pedestal because they do stuff that I just simply cannot get my head around. And two, because it's the fastest way to help impact the wider community. If we impact businesses, small businesses for the better, and we help them grow together, then we are going to spread the wealth, the country's wealth, more evenly. Everyone's going to benefit. Communities will benefit. Charities will benefit. Like homes, children, everyone is going to benefit if we can help this swathe of small businesses grow. So the impact that we have isn't just on our tiny little daily lives. It goes a lot further. And I love that.
Definitely. And that's a main reason a lot of people became accountants, right, is to have that positive impact. But you did touch on something which is differentiating and helping people differentiate. And that's something I really want to focus on with you, because you have a very distinct brand in what you've created, but also in what you help with your clients. So can you talk a little bit about why you picked being a captain, being an accounting pirate?
Yeah. First of all, I can't help other people differentiate if I blend in with other people.
True.
That would be a faux pas. But the accounting pirates actually comes from a book called Be More Pirate, which I have around because I look at it often. So the Be More Pirate ethos is based on the golden era of piracy and socialism. And keep saying this word. I'm a capitalist. I get that. But I love the socialist ideals because I just think that we can look after more people. So Be More Pirate is saying that actually we can do things differently. The golden age of piracy had pirates that had compensation for the first time. They had a diverse workforce. They didn't discriminate. If you lost an arm, they would make sure that your family's okay. So there was a lot of things that they did right that we just don't ever kind of see because we think pirates are just mean people, like pillaging. But actually,
it looked like they had a lot of fun. That's how I took it. They had a lot of fun.
but if you look at it, they were fighting against a system that was corrupt. They were fighting against a system that was unfair, and in their very small, tiny communities, they were making a more fair, equal life. So that's why we're called accounting pirates. It's about distribution, and it's about fairness and equality and equity and diversity.
And fighting against the corrupt accounting space.
It's more fighting against the corrupt systems, more like the giant corporations, the swathe of marketing that tells you that this food is healthy and it's not. I want to see small businesses grow that are actually providing value to our communities, not conglomerates that just tell you to eat a load of numbers and everything's going to be happy. And just see the obesity crisis grow. I think when I say impact, I really do mean that we have a chance to impact our society.
Yeah, so ethics is at the core of everything that you do then.
It really is, yeah.
Cool. And so obviously you've created this brand and you've lent into it, and you said that now you are building that. So talk a little bit about where that's going.
Okay, well, it's first good to recognize that it came from nowhere. So I started from scratch, like everybody else starts from scratch. And to come into the accounting industry as a non-accountant was actually quite difficult at first because you don't have the history of understanding everything about the business. And I knew about marketing, I knew about branding, I knew about communication, which are the skills that they're missing. But it was hard to get the recognition and
we're skeptical. We're generally skeptical, aren't we? And so anyone that's coming in, we're like, oh, what do you want? What are you doing? What's your angle?
Yeah. And you have to prove that you're going to be around for the long haul. Like you're not just the kind of coming in, sell you SEO and then skedaddling off again. It's no, I'm here for you consistently. And that branding, that message doesn't happen overnight. True. So it took a long time to kind of establish it. But now it's really flying because it's offering something that's very different to other people. And it allows permission. I think this is where the brand is really strong. It allows accountants permission to be different, to be bold, to be brave and courageous. And that's really our strap line.
Yeah, brilliant. And I love the use of the word skedaddle. More people should use that word. So you said you're going to move into YouTube. Is that building on the podcast that you currently do?
Yeah. So the podcast, Accountants Are Sexy, that came because, once again, going back to value, the reason Accountants Are Sexy is the impact that they have on their clients. That's the core message. The brand is going to develop on LinkedIn. It's going to develop on YouTube. I think SEO is going to be the next thing for me. As I said, I had to concentrate on the website. But going into SEO too soon would have been a waste of time for me because I didn't have the credibility. So it's making sure that we have got a strategic focus and we're building it in the right areas. Now I know that people are searching for us, the website, the Accounting Pirates brand and the podcast. Now I'm going to invest more time and money and effort into it.
That makes sense. And doing it in the right order is critical, right? As you say, you want to focus where your energy needs to be to ensure that you're getting the most out of it. So how do you pivot that into working with your clients? How do you help them differentiate? What is your process?
What is the process? Stripping things away, first of all. Niching is a massive word in this industry, and like disrupting, it puts the fear of God into people, like fear of God. So I remove the word I try and remove the word niching as much as possible. We just look at who you don't want to work with. I've got a 3-step process. Who don't you want to work with? Let's get rid of those. Like, just get rid of them. You've got my permission to say, never want to work with you ever again. Goodbye. Don't want to work with CIS? Fine. Don't work with them.
That brings fear, though, doesn't it? Because a lot of people are like, we just need to accept anything that comes our way. And actually pushing back and saying, no, this is us, is something they have to overcome.
Yeah. Which is why who don't you want to work with actually starts better than who do you want to work with, because most people know who they don't want to work with. I don't really want to work with CIS because I don't understand it. I don't like it. There's too much drama that comes with it. I don't want to work with companies who are turning over 5 million plus because they're going to be subject to audits. And that's going to be really difficult to get, to be able to manage and get someone to partner in and blah, blah, blah. And I don't want to work with smaller businesses that might be trying to hit the first 6 figures or beneath the VAT threshold because they need a lot of hand holding and I don't have the structure to be able to provide that for them. So when you start stripping away who you don't want to work with, you kind of get left with a core. And once you've got that core of people, and I put a name to those core, so that's your brand level client. Yep. Then you can start going, right, well, let's put these guys into categories. And the categories can be wild. It's up to you how you categorize them. But as long as you can identify each different category, that's a really, really good place to start kind of segmenting this audience.
Cool. And I guess that's identifying who you're going after. But how do you help them identify what makes them unique, or at least to identify a brand that is unique?
Well, as I say, it starts with who. Yeah. So if you were to have a varied client portfolio, and you've got businesses of different size that need different apps, that need different levels of service, you can't understand your value because it's so different to so many different people. You don't understand where to place yourself. So once you kind of started tripping away and segmenting your audience, you start to say, well, actually, this segment, this is what they really need from us. This is the kind of service that they like. This is who they need us to be. These are their apps. This is the app stack. And you start to build up this picture. And then you can bring in your kind of personality. So we are the most suited accountant for greengrocers because we understand the impact of the high street, and we don't want the high street to die, So you can kind of put your target audience and then your rationale behind it. And that becomes a lot stronger than we are an accountant.
Not just that they like veg, which is also a great reason to work with greengrocers.
Seems to have talked about veg a lot on this programme. Maybe it's in the brain.
Well, maybe. So look, it would be wrong of us to be doing a Digital Disruptor episode without asking about tech. What do you use? What are the systems you use to help work with your clients?
So for me, I work with a program called Asana for project management. And this is why one of the things that we do a little bit differently to other people specializing in marketing, we take them through it's not strict, it's a very formatted framework that allows them to be creative within that. So we go through 4 different key areas to make sure that they are doing the work to get the results. When it comes to tech like email marketing systems, their CRMs, I'm more agnostic when it comes to that, because I think it has to fit you and your budget. So MailChimp is really easy to get on board with. But if you want to take it a step higher, then we'll help you work with Keep. So Keep is a system that does very similar things to MailChimp, but a bit more on steroids. So,
oh, wow. Okay.
But it's like, what do you need to achieve? What's your time commitment? What are your resources commitment? Who do you have in the business to support you? And then we'll help you build the systems for that. We are not about taking things away from the accountant. We're about empowering them to be the captain of their own ship.
Yeah, no, it's great you brought up Asana as well, because I guess the episode before we were talking about managing digital transformation projects, and that being a project management tool fits in really well to that. And so anything you're working that might have stages or elements that you need to make sure are completed as you move on, Asana's a good fit for that.
Yeah, I have my entire business in Asana, entire business. If that went down, I would be lost.
Yeah, no, I definitely know that, where you have to rely heavily on one thing. Accountants have that with practice management solutions. And if you ever go, we need to consider a change here if you want to get this overall strategy, that's when their face drops. God, no, please don't touch that. That's where it's high risk. Look, you touched a bit about what the future holds for you. Obviously moving into kind of YouTube, building the brand. But what's, the long-term future? Are you going to get a ship and do everything from, traveling the 7 seas?
Don't laugh. I mean, I don't know when this is going to come out, but it should be announced this week that we're holding a mastermind on a boat.
Woohoo!
So don't laugh.
No, it's brilliant. Is it a wooden one or is it like a modern one?
No, I'm afraid it is a modern yacht, and it's my dad's yacht, and it's called Business. So
nice.
I know, right?
Is that why you got the pirate name as well, because your dad had a boat, or is that just...
No, this is a new thing for his retirement. So this is a new addition to our family. Nothing to do with that. That's my stepdad. My actual dad, who's passed away, he was a sailor, and he used to have his finger missing, and he used to tell me that it was bitten off by a shark. So maybe that's where it came from.
Maybe it's built in you. But no, look, I know of in the history that there was amazing boat parties run by decks. So I'm assuming that, Captain, you're going to take it to a whole next level.
I don't know about that. Let me just start with a little one.
Build up to a super yacht.
I might take the decks up there. I don't know. There might be music. Who knows? But no, the future of Accounting Pirates, we've got some interesting stuff coming on. We're about to release cohorts. So I have the framework, Rock the Boat, because it helps them rock the boat, differentiate, think differently. And that's been delivered 1-to-1 up until now. So the next big thing for us is releasing cohorts, which means we'll get small groups together. There's a wait list at the moment, but we'll get small groups together. We'll run it a few times every year. It makes it more affordable, more accessible for some people, because you can't run a business that's based on equality and diversity if you don't consider the breadth of different people's situations.
Of course.
So we're trying to make that accessible. And then in the future, we'd like to do a lot more face-to-face stuff as well. So I kind of run the business intuitively. I'm not going to say there is like a massive strategy for the 5-year plan. We just want to have a load of fun and help people along the way.
That's basically the core of the Digital Disruptors as well, Captain. So maybe we'll have to collaborate on a boat at some point.
Yeah.
But it sounds a very exciting time, and I think that's a perfect place to kind of wrap up this week's show. So hopefully everyone's been listening as we provide you valuable insights that you can take forward. Please do check out the show notes for links to the Digital Disruptors, SP Digital, and to Accounting Pirates, plus anything and any tech that we've referenced in this show. If you do want to catch future episodes, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and make sure you look out for the release every Thursday morning. We look forward to speaking to you next week.